for the hardest-hitting show in talk radio. The true progressive voice since 2012. This is Southpaws.
And welcome to Southpaws on the Pacifica Radio Network. We are the leaders of the revolution. My name is Darren Gibson. I'm your co-host.
I'm Katy Steele.
I'm Jack Prince.
And we've got quite a few topics to talk about. We're going to talk about COVID. We're going to talk about a new fungus that sounds just as bad as COVID. Plus, we've got Hammer Time, and we got an off-the-cuff segment this week that'll make you cringe a little bit, especially if you don't like snakes. So I'm just going to warn you there. So before we get started with today's show, a couple of reminders that you can follow us on social media by going to facebook.com/Southpaws Radio Show. You can follow us on Twitter at Southpaws Radio. You can follow us on Tumblr at southpawsradioshow.tumblr.com. You can follow us on YouTube by doing a search for Southpaws Radio. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/Southpaws Radio. You can listen to the show anytime you like at Spreaker.com or at Stitcher.com by doing a search for Southpaws. You can find us on Apple Podcasts by searching for Southpaws. Once you found our logo, you found us. We send links to our weekly episodes to our Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and YouTube accounts. You can listen to us on Global Community Radio Channel 1 every Saturday night at 11 Eastern. And you can find us on great Pacifica stations, including KCEI in Taos, New Mexico, KZGM in Kabul, Missouri, WOOL in Bellows Falls, Vermont, and KEPJ San Antonio, Texas. Make sure you check us out there. So the Delta variant of the coronavirus is raging everywhere. The CDC is calling it the pandemic of the unvaccinated. This is some scary stuff here, folks.
I did watch the press conference yesterday with Fauci and the other doctor working on the federal level, the female. I cannot remember her name.
Rochelle. I can't think of her last name.
That is who I'm talking about, but yes, I can't either. But anyways, they were just basically saying that they need everybody to get vaccinated who hasn't gotten vaccinated yet. But where we're at right now is that it's mostly affecting the unvaccinated people. It's seriously affecting them. Hospitalizations are blowing up. Case rates are blowing up. But they're also saying that the case rate numbers are not necessarily comparable to what we were seeing before. Because before, the sickness, the disease was higher. And in this case, because we have so many vaccinations, we've managed to keep the level of sickness down versus in the percentage of case rates. So that's actually encouraging. But if it keeps spreading, it's just going to keep mutating, and then we have to risk getting a version of it that isn't going to be cured by a vaccine.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it reminds me of the old scientific adage that the water ain't going to clear up until you get the pigs out of the creek.
Right.
And the pigs here are the unthinking red hats that really endanger us all. And until they're either they die, right? Or a bolt of lightning strikes them, and they get two brain cells that click, they will kill us all, or they'll kill many of us.
I will say that worse than them are the people who know that this is bad information, right? That they're feeding these kinds of unrealities. And I would say they are actually the more violent ones, the ones that are just feeding this BS and this propaganda and fake science into their feeds every day.
Like the people at Fox Propaganda Channel.
Right. The savages there.
And OAN and Newsmax and all the other violent conservative outlets.
Yes, all those other uncivilized, ignorant sources of bad information.
Although now apparently some of the folks of Fox Propaganda Channel are starting to come around.
They have to.
That's self-preservation. That's not coming around.
That's what it is. It literally is self-preservation.
Unless you're totally, completely brain dead, you're at the end of your plank. If you can even reason zipping your fly up, you know what I mean? You are at the end of the plank. And the problem is that it's time for them to shut up. These crazies, they have to shut the hell up.
We have to stop arguing with them. We have to stop, because the second we make this an argument or a debate or even a conversation,
they got 3 talking points that they memorized.
Exactly, and none of them make any sense, but they don't care. They just feel like as long as there's a debate, that gives them a platform and that gives them relevance.
Right. There is no debate. There's no question. Shut up and bend over.
Exactly.
That's all there is to it.
And that's how it was for years, at least socially generally understood, with like other issues like racism.
Like
People
history.
knew you don't speak about that because it was so not okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the second we started entertaining these conversations, I feel like it's just gotten worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
We can't entertain the ignorance anymore.
Exactly.
When it's 99% of the people dying, 99.2 nationally right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You shut the hell up. There's no room. You just have to shut up.
There was a doctor in Birmingham, Alabama that's making the news rounds. She's having patients coming in that have this Delta variant that have not been vaccinated. And then once they get sick, they're begging her for the shot.
Yeah.
And she's having to tell them, sorry, it's too late to get a vaccine. You're sick. You just have to either write it out and hope you do well, or you're going to die.
Yeah.
And the family members of these people that are sick, can't you give them the vaccine? No, that's not how it works. Yeah. Vaccine is prevention. It's not a cure.
What people don't realize is the old deadly 600,000 virus, COVID, killed almost 1 million people. That was an 8th grader. You've got George Foreman in the ring now. You've got Mike Tyson in the ring.
Yep.
This is that much more deadly. So deadly, the CDC director says this is the most transmissible virus ever seen.
Ever seen.
And this is even scarier. It will affect every single unvaccinated person. In other words, it's guaranteed. This is so aggressive, so guaranteed aggressive, it's going to get them all.
Yeah. And
look how fast it's accelerated in 30 days. We could have knocked this damn thing out 30 days ago. It could have been over. To continue the boxing metaphor, it could have been over.
Which is how I know that this is very strategic on somebody's part to keep this moving, to keep this going and to kill off more people. And if I don't think they care which ones of us are willing to die.
No.
But
That's
at
true.
this point, it is, what's the selective,
Thinning the herd? Or?
Yeah, thinning the herd.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be on that team. I'm going to tell everybody I know that hasn't gotten a shot yet.
Always have pushed the survival of the fittest. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Survival of the fittest.
They live by that.
Yeah, survival of the fittest, and they're selfish.
Yep.
I got mine, you go get yours.
Yeah.
That's how they are as far as the economy goes.
I found a loophole, so it's, that's the smart thing to do, and I got mine.
Yep. And we should be saying that about the vaccines. Hey, I got mine, you go get yours. I guess Michigan, there's 400,000 doses of the vaccine that they're afraid are going to spoil that have not been used yet because the vaccination rates are down. I don't know. Although I guess we better worry about the next one. The Associated Press reports that there's now a new untreatable fungus spreading across the country. It's hit 2 hospitals in Dallas, Texas, and a nursing home in Washington, D.C. That is according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Says a handful of the patients had invasive fungal infections that were impervious to all 3 major classes of medications. The fungus is called Candida auris. It's a harmful form of yeast that is considered dangerous to hospital and nursing home patients with serious medical problems. If it gets in your bloodstream, your heart, or your brain, you're done, pretty much. And there's nothing that they can do about it. There's no medicine they can give you for it. It's resistant. Outbreaks in healthcare facilities have been spurred when the fungus spread through patient contact or on contaminated surfaces. So this is being spread person to person, a fungus. The fungus among us, I guess. Ugh. I guess out of 5 people that got it, 3 died. Cases were seen from January to April.
Only in Texas could this proliferate like that. I mean, they know, like these water septic tanks by barns.
Yeah.
They grow fungus that never, ever appeared before in history.
Oh, wow.
Just right out in Middleville, they had one. We had a kid fall in football practice. He went to pick a ball and fell in. He got so many shots because they have things in these. You've seen them. They're big. They're like open.
The septic tanks?
Septic tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're the only state in the country that does not regulate our septic tanks. So they are leaking everywhere.
This is like overhead sewage. I mean, not to be facetious.
No. Yeah.
You put it in the ground for a reason. Uh-huh. No, this is out in the open like water community pools.
Wow.
And the pig farms, the huge pig farms down in Arkansas.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
That's like what those huge ponds are, right?
Yeah, so it's no surprise
They're
to me.
retention ponds of sewage.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what other chemicals have run off into it from the nearby farms because farmers have to spray their crops with pesticides.
Yeah,
which
the glyphosate and all the other crap they're putting on it.
Well, Bezos said we
us.
should take all of our pollution and just put it in outer space.
There we go.
Can we talk about that for a quick second here?
We probably should.
Oh,
Could launch Texas
what
itself.
a
Get the hell out of here.
dumb thing to say.
Huh.
Dumb. Put all the toxic stuff
And
in
industries,
space,
too.
so then it can just rain right down on top of everybody.
Well, I'm convinced that if this is not going to be Planet Prison, this is going to be Planet Waste Can.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure that's what's
Yeah.
happening right now. They're like, we're just going to leave the trash here, including all the people.
Yeah.
The worker bees can keep themselves occupied doing stuff for us down here that will help us up there. Mm-hmm. They'll never be able to get here,
Right.
so it's perfect.
Did you hear me laughing?
Here-
I saw a Far Side cartoon. It had the gate outside the launch. There's a guard, right?
Okay.
And there's outside his gate, there's 2 elephants, there's 2 giraffes, there's 2 rhinos. There's 2 elephants.
Noah's Ark.
And he calls in and he says, I don't know, they want to get out of here for some reason.
Good Lord. Yeah. So here's the
Yeah.
here's the thing though, and this is something that was just recently reported. The science though, they think they're going to escape. Here's the reality of the situation. No person has stayed in space longer than 1 year, and here's why. When you get up there, it affects your body. It affects your muscles, your bones, your everything.
They just did a study. It weakens your immune system.
Yep, it sure does. So they think they're going to escape. Where are they going to escape to?
Actually,
not going to happen.
They've been planning this for a long time, Darren, and they thought of that. If you look at what some of the big airline manufacturers have been doing, they have gone from making luxury jets to making flying hospitals.
Flying hospitals?
Flying hospitals.
I haven't seen this. Where have you seen
the
this?
billionaires aren't telling people this. Look it up. And I can't remember the name of the website I saw it on or where I found this article, but I will Google it and find a source in a minute because I read about it. But they're top of the line.
So here's the irony of this is you've got Bezos and his brother.
Oh, yeah.
And Wally Funk, the 82-year-old former NASA astronaut who wasn't allowed into space because she's a woman. Gee, that isn't sexist.
And the other
as all
kid is
hell.
dad paid $250 million.
Yeah,
Get him up in the air.
18-year-old kid, youngest kid supposedly in space, riding a penis-shaped rocket. Let's just call it what it is. Yeah. It's a very big phallic symbol.
All right, kids, I got it on Forbes.com. Super yacht owners escape for open waters with hospital rooms and private.
Oh, so they're out
and
on
private nurses.
So they're out on the boats with their private nurses and hospitals.
They've got super yachts that are private hospitals, and then they've got global flying hospitals. GFH is the humanitarian medical charity based in Macau, SAR.
Okay, yep.
It was founded in 2001 in the USA by Australian-born Neil Newton to provide medical focus in the developing world. 21st century mobile medical clinics.
Yeah. Hey, let's go back 400 years in England. We're saying, they got these boats. You know what they're going to do? They're going to go all the way across the ocean. All those monsters out there, that's the greatest thing I've ever heard of.
They're going to fall off the end of the earth because the earth's flat.
Yep.
Here we are.
And by the way, there are still clowns out there that believe the earth is flat.
Yeah, there is. And with red hats on.
Oh, yeah.
Here's the best meme I saw is that this launch is going up, and one guy says to the other, look at that. They're launching a huge dick. And look at that spacecraft. That's a little funny looking, too.
Did you see the one where they had a picture of Austin Powers and it said, I'm going to tell my kids this is Jeff Bezos? No, it wasn't Austin Powers. It was the bald guy from the movie. What's his name?
Dr. Evil.
Yes.
Well, Bezos gives you the best material ever. And any guy that says, I want to thank all of the Amazon buyers, all of my employees, you paid for this. Are you kidding me?
No, he's not kidding. He is that arrogant, and he is laughing. No, not even stupid. He's got billions in security.
Yeah,
he can afford to laugh in our face as he kills us all.
Yeah, that's it.
Where we're at.
We're paying for his escape.
And we're so stupid that we're sitting down here acting like he's just playing games and having fun.
And Elon Musk.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
It's really a joke on us.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is.
That's why we say, Jack, what is it you've said before?
Don't
worry about taxing the rich. Worry about eating the rich.
That's
where it should be.
Excellent perspective to have.
Yeah, I make sure to quote you often with that.
Did anybody else see the Guardian article? Because I thought it was a little piece of gold, to be honest. It says, why is Bezos flying to space? Because billionaires think Earth is a sinking ship.
Oh,
and then you talk about propaganda. Now they want you to think that these guys worked their way up. They just, like you and me.
Oh, yeah.
Forget the fact that Daddy Bezos gave him $250,000 when Amazon was about to go under.
Right.
So my dad's just going to say, oh, yeah, Jack, you got yourself a little lawn business here. Here, let me give you $250,000. I think I can make it. Do you think?
Exactly.
Well, that's the thing. It's not possible. Nobody can possibly work 8 million times harder than somebody else. It just doesn't.
Or smarter.
It's not possible. You're not that much smarter than somebody else.
Yeah. Folks, everybody that's rich, that's wealthy, they didn't get there by themselves. No. I got news for you. They got a lot of help. Why do you think there are investment firms that invest in new technologies?
Don't forget my favorite book, The Godfather. On the opening leaf, it says, behind every fortune, there is a crime.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have to read this and the way this article ends because it's
and
brilliant.
Again, this is Forbes, right?
This is theguardian.com, and it was written by Hamilton Nolan.
Okay.
He finishes with the last paragraph. It says, when Bezos announced he was going to space, many people joked that he should stay there. Absolutely not. He must be returned to Earth at all costs. The problems of the world that he is escaping were created by rich people just like him. We're not going to let them get away from us that easily.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. And speaking of crimes, go ahead, Jack.
No, I'm just going to say, we're not going to let them go away with it, but they will.
Yeah,
right.
They pretty much will.
Are they already? And that's my question: is Rumsfeld dead? Is DeVos dead? Is Secchia dead? Or are they gone? Did they escape?
Yeah.
I mean, it seems real. I mean, all of a sudden, lightning is striking the George Floyd mural. There's a lot of things happening right now that have me questioning our whole reality.
This morning, did you see on the news? We're recording on Friday, July 23rd, 2021. Did you see the lightning strike locally here, Caledonia? I believe it's Caledonia Township. Lightning struck a gas main and ruptured it, so now there's gas burning.
What?
Yeah. It was on WZZM this morning.
Oh, my gosh. That's a little... I think the gas main might have blew up.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it was lightning.
Well, no, it was just a little going straight up.
Did they not turn it off?
The gas company, they have to go out there and turn it off. Yeah?
Well, Line 5 should hear about that news.
As somebody
Line
who...
3. Have you seen Line 3? Yeah.
Yeah.
The Red Lake Treaty Camp is... They're so inspiring.
Yeah.
They're climbing on top of the drill. They shut down drilling there. It's great.
Good. That's great.
That's out west?
It's Midwest, yeah.
Yeah, Minnesota, I think.
Minnesota, yep.
Brave people.
Oh, so brave.
Yeah. Speaking of polluting, we might as well get right into this. We've talked for years about the Flint water crisis, which the Intercept is now teaming up with the Detroit Metro Times to call it the Flint cover-up. There's a great article, Jordan Cheriton and Jen Dyes writing July 21st. This talks about how different members of Governor Rick Snyder's administration, when they turned their cell phones in, when they left, they had wiped data prior to certain dates. So while this was going on, they wiped their phones of any evidence of any collusion or any conversations they were having about lead in Flint's water.
I am I'm so conflicted with these reports about Flint. So conflicted because, number one, the chemicals that got into the water in Flint are nothing compared to the other chemicals that are in the water in Flint and every other city in Michigan. Mm-hmm. They're not as dangerous, and they're not as lasting. The damages they're different and they are lasting, but the actual chemicals themselves, as far as, I mean, PFAS doesn't go away. It gets in you and then it goes to your children and then their children, and it is ending humanity. Mm-hmm. It is ending humanity. Okay, so to talk about Flint and to call Flint a cover-up and focus all of this energy on this cover-up in Flint that is nothing compared to the overall cover-up of the entire water scheme, not only our infrastructure and who's stealing our water and who's in charge of making sure everybody gets it, but also the chemicals that are in it and the fact that people from the EPA, the USDA, the health department, the governor's office, every single person on every level has done something corrupt and helped cover this up. Mm-hmm. Like, I've watched it. I've gone through the Kent County Health Department and saw the investigations and saw how people were helping each other and how they were going through and handing out gift cards to people so that they weren't getting upset and weren't calling lawyers, and they were using their attorneys that they were being suggested to, all of these different things. So yeah, I'm upset that this Flint cover-up got pushed aside, but I just think right now we need to look at the big picture and not go after the tiny little bits that happened 4 years ago. It's a distraction from what's happening to us right now, in my opinion.
So, Katy, you're amazing because you look ahead. They've trained us to look where our feet are today, and they control the path years ahead, and that includes water. That includes the lack of water. They're anticipating a huge migration to Michigan.
Absolutely.
Because of the heat and the water shortages in the Midwest.
And that's why they're securing our water right now the way they are with the surveillance. That's why DTE is working with Coca-Cola and working with the city of Grand Rapids and working with these private contracted military security officers so that when that happens, they can save themselves. I don't understand. I don't think people understand how close we are to that, because this kind of flooding, China, we haven't gotten to that yet, but you see this kind of flooding massively take out roads, take out water pipes. Now people don't have access
Houses.
To the city water. Where are you going to go, right? You're going to go for your rivers and your streams and your creeks. Well, guess what? They've got them under surveillance. Mm-hmm. You're going to get arrested. You're going to have gates. You're not even going to be able to get to a stream. And wells are drying up every day in California. People are living where they have to go next door across the street, and they're lucky to be able to go there. Yep. But that water's going to dry up next. Mm-hmm. And they're just going to keep coming towards us.
Meanwhile, Katy, they took water out of the mountains in Northern California and had a river that took the water to Southern California, yes. San Diego and L.A.
Yep.
But a Republican, got allowance to siphon off huge proportions out of that river to irrigate
for
a
the
valley
farm
that was so dry you couldn't go crap on. All of your pomegranates come from that valley now. The guy is a billionaire, and he supports.
Wow! I haven't heard about this one.
He supports every single conservative on the west side of the country. Him and his wife.
And this is the thing they're not talking about that's causing the migration to the southern border. People are acting like it is still the violence that is pushing people to the Mexican border, and it's not. A lot of these people are coming because they don't have access to water. They're heading north looking for water, and this is why we're focused, our government is focused on immigration right now, because they want to be able to shut it down and keep these people out. And they're already trying to deal with what we're going to be doing when we realize how screwed we are.
You buy Palm in the grocery store? That's the guy.
Wow.
Palm?
Palm, P-O-M.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yes, I've seen that. Okay.
Yeah.
Thousands of acres of water that should be going to the humans.
Yeah, they have...
in California.
And at what point are people going to come up against the farmers and say, that's really cool that you guys need to make a living, but we need to give our babies water?
Yeah, and this guy never was a farmer at all. He just had a lot of money and just bought all his vacant land and then talked to politicians and irrigated it.
That just reminds me of the...
Whole cities in Southern California were closed. Whole cities. They didn't have any water.
Do you know who one of the biggest franchises is behind McDonald's?
Who?
Tommy's Express Car Wash in Holland. They came out of nowhere 4 years ago, no, it was maybe 10 years ago now. But they came out of nowhere. They're using a lot of water because they're a car wash place.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, and they started in Holland. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of people with a whole bunch of money just jumping in anywhere they want right now and making things really bad for everybody. But that's what happens when you're in an oligarchy and it's this late of a stage.
Yeah. Absolutely. This Intercept article is something else. They've got copies of emails here where they're talking about phones being wiped. This first one is Henry James. He's a health department official with Genesee County. Sent this to several people. He says, and this is dated May 10th, 2016. The email reads, "Hello, just FYI, the 10/20/15 email below from George Christian, MDEQ Drinking Water Lab Directors regarding his new cell phone. Jim Fick, State of Michigan, IT security employee, is also a parent for my son's hockey team. Jim explained to me that several MDEQ employee phones were returned to his office, wiped clean about the same time of George's email below. He explained that it was odd to have received several working phones that were wiped clean and no information could be retrieved. The timing of this was soon after Governor Rick Snyder's press conference on October the 8th, and is signed Jim Henry, Environmental Health Director, Genesee County."
But couldn't the savages just call the Israeli military and have them get a hold of the Pegasus guy that's been putting all of that software on everybody's, like, all the high-ranking officials' phones? Because I'm sure they have documented, and they're always trying to help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, tell you what. Let's get off of this, because this is a very lengthy article. Folks, you got the time, you do need to read it. It's on our official Facebook page. Go to facebook.com/Southpaws Radio Show. Since you mentioned Israel, did you see that Ben & Jerry's is going to stop selling ice cream in the occupied territories?
I did.
And now the Israelis are pissed. The savage Republicans are pissed. The violent conservatives.
It's our number one weapon. Cut the ice cream off.
Yeah.
This is the world we're in right now.
Yeah.
Pretty savage. Now let's think about this.
Yeah.
I mean, we've given enough armament, military weapons, $186 billion in military armament,
right. But we're not giving them more ice cream.
We just shot a bow across. No more pistachio cream, baby.
That's right.
Yeah.
You're done.
We're in trouble now.
Yeah. So, I don't know. But, yeah, that's some interesting stuff here. I tell you what, I want to play audio of this. So, let me just go to the story. This is Ed Mazza writing for Huffington Post. CNN's Anderson Cooper on Wednesday night played new audio of Donald Trump in which Trump rambled about the January 6th insurrection, repeated false claims about the 2020 election. This was audio taken from an interview for the new book, I Alone Can Fix It. This was a book written by Carol Leonig and Phil Rucker of the Washington Post. CNN played some of this audio. This is just absolutely bonkers, insane, crazy, whatever you want to call it. It's just absolutely nuts. It's really, let's go ahead and let's take a listen to some of this here.
What did you hope they would do when you said go up there and stop this?
Well, I heard that people wanted to go down to, that wasn't my rally per se. There were a lot of people that spoke.
Yeah.
They had rallies the night before. They had speakers all over the city. You had hundreds of thousands of people. I would venture to say, I think it was the largest crowd I've ever spoken before.
So now he's saying that, oh no, there were other speakers. It's not just me. It was everybody else. So he's denying taking responsibility for this. Let's continue.
It went from that point, which is almost at the White House, to beyond the Washington Monument. It was, and wide. And
but if you could have waited,
and it was a loving crowd too. By the way, there was a lot of love. I've heard that from everybody. Many.
Hold on a second. A loving crowd. Oh, jeez.
I hate his voice. I really hate his voice, Darren. I mean, I was feeling good about not having to hear him for a long time lately.
Yeah. Oh, it was a loving crowd, really. Yeah, they were just loving listening to that orange piece of garbage.
We've seen him and Melania together. We know what a loving something looks like to him.
Let's keep going.
People have told me that was a loving crowd, and it was too bad. It was too bad that got that they did that.
There were just some.
But my statement.
But Mr. President, I apologize. What we're trying to understand is, Not blame, not castigate.
understand.
We want to understand, what did you want when you said, go up there? What would you have dreamed
I would have
for
said
them to do?
that you will show not to go in, although they were ushered in by the police. I mean, in all fairness, the Capitol Police were ushering people in. The Capitol Police were very friendly. They were hugging and kissing. You don't see that.
Whoa. The Capitol Police were hugging and kissing people as they were storming the U.S. Capitol building.
Yep.
Wow.
Squeeze the life out of the guy in the revolving door.
Yeah.
He gave you a kiss afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. Let's continue here.
But there's plenty of tape on that too, because the Capitol Police that's the way it is. But personally what I wanted is what they wanted. They showed up just to show support, because I happen to believe the election was rigged at a level like nothing has ever been rigged before.
Let me stop. Absolute total bullshit. 100% USDA grade A bullshit. Absolute fabrication.
Best moniker you can use. That's why
lying piece of shit is what he is.
The loyal sycophant Barr called it pure bullshit.
Exactly. And people still eat this up. I'll say it. The morons eat this up.
Yep.
They're stupid. Beyond stupid. I'm sick of these people. Let's continue.
Tremendous proof. There's tremendous proof. Statistically, it wasn't even possible that he won. I mean, things such as if you win Florida and Ohio and Iowa, there's never been a loss. There was a loss.
Did you need?
Hang on a second. Does this clown even know what statistics is? Did he take statistics in college? Did he go to college?
Does he say this stuff on purpose while Biden's bombing Somalia so we don't talk about Biden? Because it kind of feels opportunistic to me.
This interview was actually recorded on March 31st.
Okay. So it just got pulled out while Biden is bombing Somalia, which seems incredibly opportunistic.
March 31st. This is way around that long.
Yeah, and it was published in the book. Again, it's the book I Alone Can Fix It.
And this is what keeps happening, because every single time there's something happening, like Biden not wanting to help families, or Biden not wanting to give us health insurance, or Biden not wanting to erase college debt, we pull out some horrible quote from Trump, we bring him back out of the graveyard, and we're all pushed back into this, lesser of two evils.
I can't listen to his voice anymore, so I'm going to stop there. But Anderson Cooper of the comments told his guest that this is like listening to Nixon drunk rambling, except he's not drunk.
Oh, and Nixon, I think, was a little bit smarter than Trump. Let's give him some credit.
Not hard. Come on.
It's not hard at all.
Yeah, exactly. Oh,
I had way more respect for Nixon, though. I'm not going to lie.
Chomsky said Nixon was our last liberal president.
I would agree with that. Very few people understand Nixon, but they wanted him out for a reason.
About the only good thing Nixon did was start the EPA, and that was about it. Other than that, he was a crook.
Yeah.
They're all crooks. You don't get elected president if you're not a crook. Behind every
I'll argue Jimmy Carter. He was the last decent man to be president.
Yeah, okay.
Because he didn't start
he was an anomaly though.
Because he didn't start any wars.
Like Jimmy is an anomaly, I think. I don't know how the hell that happened.
Yeah.
I should probably look into it. We need to do that again.
Yeah. It's kind of like I don't know if you guys have seen this I don't know if it was on Twitter or if it was on Facebook, but there was a post by the Michigan Democratic Party where they were basically saying, we can't wait until 2022 to renominate Dana Nessel as Attorney General. No, you guys wanted Pat Miles in 2018. Let's not skew history here.
Do we need to pull out the videos? I've got them.
Well, you're talking about Carter. The whole deal, honestly, is that this area still reveres Gerald R. Ford, the guy that Carter beat. But it's staggering. They had a Michigan history post on Facebook.
I saw it. Yep.
How great he was. He was the the only president to be an Eagle Scout. He's the only president to be a park ranger.
He's the only one to play football.
Only president to play football. So I put in the comment, he's the only president to pardon a known felon for crimes, high crimes and misdemeanors. The only one.
Yep.
And you get back, well, no, he sacrificed himself by giving him what was good for the country. And I asked the whole page, I said, does anybody want to talk about Indonesia?
Oh, no.
They have no idea. Indonesia, what the hell does Indonesia have to do with Gerald R. Ford? They have no idea. It's called the secret arms sales to Indonesia that Ford signed a piece of paper allowing them to commit one of the worst genocides in history.
They talked about how he was here in 1981 for the opening of the Presidential Museum, but they didn't talk about how he came here for the meeting at the Lumber Baron Bar. The trilateral.
Is that the one with Kissinger?
Yep. Well, the Trilateral Commission meeting.
Yeah. Oh,
yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, and the sign, interestingly enough, is not at the Lumber Baron Bar.
Yeah.
The sign is now over at the Holiday Bar.
Yeah. The earth doesn't have enough space to hide any more history that the savages don't want.
Exactly.
We're talking about burying Native American history.
Right. And it's the same people in the same areas.
Yep.
Yep. All right, we kind of need to lighten things up a little bit, but not necessarily. So let's go.
Good luck with this crowd.
Let's go on with the next segment. We got to play the appropriate music.
Stop. Hammer time.
Oh yeah, it's hammer time. It is time to drop the hammer on the douchebag of the week. We got 3 winners this week. Wow, that's quite a few. Trilateral. There we go. The first one here is Olaf Imahan Ocean writing for The Hill. This is dated July 21st. A Trump supporter is refusing a New Jersey judge's order to take down her anti-President Biden banners, the New York Times reported Tuesday. Andrea Dick, a former supporter of Donald Trump, appropriate name, said she started hanging banners that displayed crude remarks toward Biden at her mother's residence in Roselle Park, with one of the signs reading, "Don't blame me, I voted for Trump." The problem is some of the other signs that she has posted, we can't say those words on FCC-regulated airwaves, including multiple uses of the F word. She added that her neighbors started to make complaints about the crude manner of her banners, specifically expressing concern about the fact that Dick lives close to a school, according to the New York Times.
No way.
The 54-year-old Dick refused to take her banners down after local officials, citing an anti-obscenity ordinance, asked her to do so.
I refuse to believe she's even walked by a school.
She was subsequently fined and summoned to a court appearance. Roselle Park Municipal Court Judge Gary A. Bundy last week ordered Dick's mother, Patricia DeLassio, to remove 3 of her daughter's 10 banners or be fined $250 a day, the New York Times reported. In an interview with the outlet, Dick said, quote, "It's my First Amendment right, and I'm going to stick with that," end of quote.
See, they should have taken some notes from the people over here on this side of town.
Mm-hmm.
They got some interesting signs out this way. There's
really
Whitmer Happens. I think it's about 8 by 10 painted plywood.
Well, you didn't see the best
Happens.
one. Go right straight out Leonard. There's a farm, and there's a manure spreader. There's a manure spreader 5 miles directly west here.
Okay.
And stuck in the manure, it's Whitmer Happens.
Oh, no, that is the same one that I saw then. I didn't realize it was stuck in manure.
Oh, you saw it?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's on Leonard. It says Whitmer Happens.
Whitmer Happens, and it's in a manure spreader.
Oh, that is hilarious.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, you had it.
I wish it was Trump, but it's still hilarious.
Wow.
Roselle Park Mayor Joseph Signorello III told the New York Times that he received complaints about Dick's banners, saying that the town's decision to remove them wasn't about politics in any way, noting that they would do the same thing if a resident hung crude banners about Trump. Signorello told the newspaper, quote, "It's about decency," end of quote. Dick's situation comes as incidents involving pro-Trump banners and flags have flared up in various states, including New York, Connecticut, Indiana, and Tennessee. Dick has said she will not follow the judge's orders to remove her banners, stating she is looking for a new attorney to battle the issue, probably because the old attorney told her she was going to get her ass kicked in court. Dick said, quote, "I'm not backing down," end of quote. Like I said, very appropriate name. Hey, honey, here's what's going to happen when you go to court.
You're gonna lose. You're gonna lose. You stink. You're gonna lose.
You tell him, Stillwell Angel. You tell him. Oh, gosh. So, winner number 1, Andrea Dick of New Jersey. God. Winner number 2 this week is Kentucky State Representative Regina Huff, Republican. I have this story. This is Joseph Choi writing for The Hill, dated July 20th. Kentucky State Representative Regina Huff sparked a wave of backlash after comparing President Biden's chief medical advisor, Anthony Fauci, to cult leader Jim Jones, infamous for causing hundreds of deaths in a mass suicide in the 70s. That's according to a report from the Louisville Courier-Journal. In a since-deleted tweet, Huff, who currently serves as Kentucky's House Education Committee chairwoman, oh God, no wonder the test scores are down there, shared a photo of Fauci and Jones next to each other with text boxes over them. The box over Jones read, "I persuaded over 900 people to drink my Kool-Aid," while the box over Fauci read,
"Incredible.
Amateur." Huff tweeted, "Some will cavil. They will not be able to help themselves." End of quote.
Is this the toughest guy we've got to go against this idiocy? Fauci, a really mild-mannered, scientific-thinking guy. Do we have anybody else who can roll their sleeves up and go after these fools besides Dr. Fauci? I mean, seriously. He goes after Rand Paul, calls him a liar. I'm thinking, is this the greatest speaker against these fools, Dr. Fauci? He's a great guy, but he's having a roll sleeve up while his family's getting death threats. This is the point, guy. Could Biden get a ball or two maybe and get in and take a few swings somewhere?
Let's mention Rand
Is
Paul.
Biden the one we want up there? No.
No.
Let's mention Rand Paul real quick. The eye doctor who couldn't get certified, so he formed his own certification board.
You know who could come out and do this? Bernie.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or Rand Paul's neighbor.
I mean, it wouldn't necessarily help. Bernie could do it. It wouldn't necessarily, nobody would listen to him, the people we need to hear it, but
yeah.
At least he's somebody who would and
well,
could
no,
do it.
actually, I think some of these people would listen to
think?
Bernie. Yeah.
Well,
It's
anybody.
possible.
Anybody, but not Fauci. Fauci's a scientist. This isn't the guy
Right.
to
He's
go
not
in the
the guy
street
that
with a
should
bar
have
fight.
to go
No.
back and do that. And that
No.
it just really does take away from the
It does. It really does.
his
He's way out of
credibility.
character, but he has to because
Yeah.
there's nobody else that'll stand there and swing with
he
these
shouldn't have
idiots.
to be an actor right now,
Whether
though. You're
it's Jim
right.
Jordan or any of those fools.
Agreed.
Oh, God.
But they
Jim
have kind of
Jordan.
done that to him by throwing him out and making these press conferences and putting this whole narrative
Yeah.
behind it, you know? So it's kind of like he's being thrown under a bus
Right.
with
And
the rest of
X
us.
is gone, and they're all chicken.
Jack, I gotta bleep that again.
Sorry.
After she deleted the post, Huff tweeted, quote, "I did indeed delete the tweet because of the vulgarity within the comments," end of quote, adding that the original tweet was, quote, "representative of the efforts gearing up to mandating and controlling citizens," end of quote. Huff continued that her tweet was not about vaccinations, but, quote, "mandates and efforts to control," and added, "I don't have any problem whatsoever with vaccinations. It is each individual's right to choose to vaccinate or not," end of quote. No, you got a problem with science, lady. Let me just give it to you straight.
That's it.
Those tweets were also subsequently deleted, according to the Louisville Courier-Journal. In a statement to The Hill, Huff said, quote, "The tweet was a reference to the detriment that can follow when fear is used to conform or control, particularly with mandates individuals," end of quote. She added that she took the post down because she did not want to give the platform to the vulgarity that was being used in the responses to her tweet. Oh, so people were writing back and using profanity toward her. She didn't like that. Aw,
One-way
snowflake.
street.
Snowflake. Huff added, quote, "I think all that wanted the vaccine should absolutely get vaccinated. I wholeheartedly feel that everyone should do what they feel is best for their well-being. My purpose was to reinforce we can't be led by fear and the government or individuals to control or manipulate our actions without it being for the greater good," end of quote. She wouldn't know what the greater good was if it jumped up and bit her in her ass.
Right.
You know? In a follow-up phone call, Huff said that she found the meme online and she absolutely did not mean to imply that Fauci was responsible for any deaths in the COVID-19 pandemic. No, that would be Trump responsible.
But she absolutely did imply that he was, but okay.
Yeah. Wow. So, yeah, let's compare Dr. Fauci to the guy that poisoned Flavor Aid and made his people drink it. If they didn't, they got a bullet for their trouble.
And then machine gun the senators that flew in to try and save people.
Yeah.
That sounds just like Fauci.
Exactly. Jack, you got to take off?
Yeah, I got a meeting.
All right.
Take care, Jack. Right. We'll see you soon.
So Jack is leaving us right now. So now the third winner of Douchebag of the Week, it's somebody that's won at least a couple of times already this year. Berry County, Michigan Sheriff Dar Leaf. I have this. This is Jonathan Oosting, writing for Bridge Magazine, dated July 16th out of Lansing. A Michigan sheriff investigating the 2020 election is using a private investigator to question clerks, an unorthodox arrangement that baffles local officials in the region Donald Trump dominated last fall. Berry County Sheriff Dar Leaf, a Republican who plotted to seize voting machines after the November election and was in communication with allies to Trump at the time, is now working with a private investigator named Michael Lynch, a former security official for DTE Energy in Detroit.
Did you just say a former security official for DTE Energy in Detroit?
Yep, I certainly did.
Because every time we talk about private military, I connect it to the energy companies, and I'm just really appreciative that this article did as well.
Yep.
Thank you, Jonathan Oosting. Okay, go ahead.
Yep. Leaf did not answer calls or respond to a text message from Bridge Magazine. The Hastings Banner newspaper reported that the sheriff said Lynch was recommended to him by Stephanie Lambert Juntilla, a Detroit area attorney facing potential sanctions related to the Kraken lawsuit that sought to overturn President Joe Biden's election win. So he's getting his advice from the Kraken attorney.
Wow. So, but honestly, Dar Leaf is so violent and so ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that he is still in a public official position is shocking and disgusting. So I guess we shouldn't even laugh anymore.
It's scary.
It's not funny anymore.
Lynch and a sheriff's deputy have visited at least 6 township clerks, according to Berry County Clerk Pam Palmer, a Republican who criticized what she called a secretive investigation that has frightened local officials. Palmer said, quote, "I was told by my clerks that they were told not to say anything to each other or to me. So I don't know what they're trying to hide. I'm told by the investigator that they're doing this under the element of surprise." End of quote.
Oh, wow.
Biden won Michigan by 154,188 votes. The Republican-led Michigan Senate Oversight Committee spent 7 months investigating the election and found no evidence of widespread or systematic fraud, concluding the public should be confident in the results.
I bet if they spent 5 minutes investigating Dar Leaf, they could find some evidence.
Mm-hmm. Leaf's probe has been shrouded in mystery since inception. Bridge Magazine used a Freedom of Information Act request to reveal a trove of documents showing Leaf's personal attorney discussed the initial investigation with Trump allies, including Sidney Powell, and a foundation with ties to L. Lynn Wood, attorneys who are also facing possible sanctions for speculative claims in a failed lawsuit that sought to declare Trump the 2020 election winner. Leaf has refused to disclose an initial complaint that he said prompted the investigation. The local media has quoted Leaf as saying his office is not paying Lynch, the private investigator who is working with his office and has questioned local government officials alongside a sheriff's deputy. In a brief phone interview Thursday, Lynch told Bridge Magazine he is part of the Berry County probe, but declined to say who hired him. He said he was about to have a meeting and would call back. He has not.
I'm shocked.
Instead, Juntilla responded by email to a separate Bridge inquiry describing Lynch as a certified fraud examiner and licensed investigator who was previously employed at DTE for 40 years, with 20 years spent serving as director of security.
Director of security. That's a pretty darn big job at DTE Energy.
Juntilla wrote, quote, "Michael Lynch has not been paid to investigate election fraud in Berry County." End of quote. She did not respond to follow-up questions, including whether Lynch is being paid to investigate anything else. Lynch did not answer a phone call on Friday and did not respond to questions via text message, telling Bridge Magazine that Ms. Lambert sent you a response. Jeez.
Whoa.
The investigative approach is unusual, according to Berry County Prosecutor Julie Pratt, a Republican who told Bridge Magazine she is poised to meet with Leaf on Monday to try and learn more about the probe. And Monday has passed, and we haven't heard
terrifying.
a thing.
This is so far past terrifying, the more I sit back and think about this, that Dar Leaf is directly connected to the former director of security for DTE.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is a military that rivals the U.S. People need to understand that. It probably, what's the word I'm looking for? Like something really small. It probably makes the U.S. military look really small in comparison.
Oh, minute?
Yes, It makes, minute in comparison. But terrifying. This man is a sociopath, a bigoted sociopath, and is now basically in a position of control over a huge military.
Mm-hmm. The prosecutor said of Lynch, quote, "You've got this person, and we don't even know who he is, and he's going around talking to people as if he's some sort of certified police officer. I don't think he's a certified police officer, and if he is, I'd like to know." End of quote.
That's the story about everybody in town right now, though.
Mm-hmm.
There's a bunch of people running around doing police work and not telling us who they are or if they have authority.
Yeah. Law enforcement officials would typically bring prosecutors in on a case of this magnitude, but Leaf has not done so with the election probe, according to Pratt. She added this, quote, "I know investigations are fact-finding missions, but usually there's some allegation that provides some basis for that, and I've not seen it." End of quote. Clerks questioned by Lynch told the Hastings Banner newspaper that the investigation appears to remain focused on Dominion voting systems tabulator machines used in Berry County. The same type of machines are used in Antrim County, where human error by the GOP clerk skewed initially reported results and fueled a global conspiracy theory that the election was rigged to hurt Trump. The Antrim error was fixed days after the election. We've talked about that. Trump easily carried Berry County last fall, winning 65% of the vote, up from 63% in 2016. So
if you haven't been to Berry County, then that might seem shocking. For those of us who have, it is a very creepy, strange town. And I'm not shocked at all.
Yeah. Leaf, who was reelected in November, told Bridge in June that he remains concerned about reports questioning whether votes may have been flipped or if we got hacked. He told Bridge Magazine at the time that Berry County clerks did a stellar job in the presidential election, but various individuals and organizations urged him to investigate. And by the way, he again declined to divulge the source of the complaints. He said, quote, "I'm not giving out any names because of the death threats and harassment that people get."
Because it's the GOP consultant agency.
Yeah.
That's why. He doesn't want people to understand that he is working for the savages in the name of savagery.
Yep. So real quickly, I'm going to ask this of Governor Gretchen Whitmer, because I have zero faith that the voters in Berry County will recall this clown if it comes up for election. This now goes to Governor Whitmer. Dar Leaf is not mentally capable of continuing as Berry County Sheriff. He needs to be removed from office now.
And now,
get rid of him.
And if Attorney General Dana Nessel might be able to do something about the fact that he's hiring people to investigate public officials, like outside of the law enforcement agency, which should be an issue with the top law enforcement official in the state, I would imagine.
You would think so.
Please let us know or do something, because I don't think I've read anything more scary than this today.
Yeah. Oh, we haven't gotten off the cuff yet. So we'll get there.
Sharon.
So to Andrea Dick, Regina Huff, and Dar Leaf, congratulations on winning. In Dar's case, winning yet again. We have this message for you.
Don't be a douchebag.
Yeah, that's right. All three of you, in one form or another, need to knock it off. Stop being douchebags.
Die.
God, wouldn't that be nice? Well, we've got other stories that we're kind of running a little low on time that we're not going to get to, so I'm going to mention them real quickly. You can find these on our official Facebook page, facebook.com/Southpaws Radio Show. I have a story from Portland, Maine. A bartender has been allegedly fired from his job because he went to his boss and complained that the Proud Boys were meeting inside this pub. So the words that I want to call the Proud Boys I can't use on FCC regulated airwaves, but it also starts with PB. Add another B and you've got a toxic chemical that they fed to cows in the 70s here in Michigan. That's something we might want to do a story on a little bit later as a follow-up on what happened back then.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's a great story, John Schwartz at The Intercept. The headline is, I tried to make claims about election fraud so preposterous that Trump fans wouldn't believe me. It was impossible.
Believe it.
This guy went on, what's that platform that they're using now?
Parler.
Yeah, he went on Parler and just said
as long as it matches their narrative.
Most outlandish things, and they ate it up.
Because it matched the narrative. That's all that matters.
Mm-hmm. There's a great story, Brianna Provenzano for Gizmodo.com. Did you know this? The telecoms industry spends $320,000 a day to make sure that your broadband sucks.
Oh, I believe it. Ever since the, what's it called? That passed the...
Oh, the net neutrality?
Net neutrality, yeah, because now they can charge you for faster speeds, so they're going to want it to suck so that you have to pay more.
Which net neutrality might be coming back, hopefully. So stay on your congressman, tell them that you want it. Oh, so we might as well get to our final story here. This is our off-the-cuff segment. This is the Associated Press reporting July 15th out of Augusta, Georgia. It's the stuff of nightmares. A Georgia couple found 18 snakes under their bed. Instead of killing the creatures, the husband carefully plucked them off the ground, dropped them in a bag, and relocated them to a nearby creek. He's a lot braver than I am.
I would keep that guy around, that's for sure.
Trish Wilshire told WJBF television that as she and her husband Max were about to go to bed Sunday, she saw what she thought was some fuzz on the floor. She said it moved when she reached down.
Ugh.
Wilshire said, quote, and then a second later, another piece moved, and I went to my husband, we have snakes!
I would never sleep again. I would never, ever sleep again, I promise.
The couple found a mother snake with 17 recently hatched babies under their bed. Max Wilshire used a grabber tool to place each one in a linen bag. This ordeal took around till midnight to get all the snakes into this bag. His wife said, quote, he brought them out there to the creek and released them there. End of quote.
It would have taken me 4 minutes to burn down the whole house.
Outside of finding a place to lay their eggs, there's another reason snakes may want to share human spaces. Camilla Sherman, an environmental educator for the Finizzi Center for Water Scientists, say snakes sometimes move into homes to hunt rodents. She said, quote, if you have a mouse problem, the snakes are going to come and try to help you with that. End of quote.
How nice. No, I think I'll keep the cats.
I don't think the cats are going to go after the snakes, though.
But if they get the mice, the snakes won't come in.
That's very true. That's very true.
Not that these ones are doing much of anything today, except napping.
They look real peaceful, and I think a nap is a good idea. Unfortunately, we are out of time for this week. We'll be back next week. I'm Darren Gibson.
I'm Katy Steele.
For Jack Prince and Kristen Cook, please support independent media and the First Amendment.
The stations that carry Southpaws do not necessarily share the opinions expressed on the show. Southpaws is protected by the First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution and is copyrighted by Big D Entertainment. All rights reserved.